We have our first guest of 2024, the clever investor, Cody. Thank you so much for joining us. Cody's background, you guys. I hope you all read the email that we sent out to you. And I know it says Laura Doherty. Sorry about
Yeah,
that.
I was gonna call that out
Cody
just now.
Sperber. Cody Sperber, not Laura Doherty, is our esteemed guest. I mean, if you don't already know who the clever investor is, stop right now. Get over to Instagram and follow Cody Sperber or Cody Sperber official.
I think
Official.
we should drop it in
Official.
the chat.
Yes, let's drop it in the chat. Make sure you go over and check him out. His content is second to none. The GOAT. He is responsible for a lot of the influencers you see now. They're following Cody's method, including Mauricio and me soon. So I appreciate you, Cody, so much for being here. I just welcome.
Well, thanks for having me on. This is cool.
I want to start with one of my favorite questions that I ask people on this show, which is, what is your unique superpower?
Marketing is probably what most people would say my unique superpower is. Like when they watch me maneuver, they're like, they really like the way I do my marketing. And my businesses and my brands have done well over $100 million online. I came around at the time of the birth of social media. So we had to figure it out. There wasn't a Cody Sperber for me to study and then mirror. I had to just like wing it until I figured out how to build an online education business, how to build an online brand, how to make sales through webinars and write my own email copy and build VSL funnels and all that stuff. I'm all self-taught. So marketing would be what a lot of people know me as or for, besides real estate. I would say my superpower is seeing talent way ahead of the curve and enrolling. I'm great at enrolling very talented people with a nice vision themselves. Like let's call them an entrepreneur. I'm great at being an entrepreneur, and I got this really big vision. Like I wanna like right now I'm trying to scale a flooring business. I started a new company called Floor Daddy. We're making flooring sales sexy, and so we're gonna take this big concept of Floor Daddy, and I got to now get all these amazing, talented human beings in the right seat of the bus. So I had to go and enroll an operations guy and a marketing guy and a CEO guy and a sales guy and an installer guy into this vision. And they themselves could go out. They're very talented. They can go out because I don't do B or C squad. Like we don't do that. Like A players only. We're here to win. We have a lot of very focused intention. And so I go get players that make a lot of money, and I got to pay them a lot of money. I got to encourage them with a lot of money. And most entrepreneurs know what they do, how they do it, why they do it. I'm good at the what's in it for you if you do it with me.
Nice.
And once I got that, I became a great enroller.
Enroller. I like that. All right. So what I'm hearing, you all have heard me talk before. I'm hearing you're really good at finding the OPs of OPE, other people for other people's everything.
Yeah, there you go. I love that.
I love it. Awesome. That is a good superpower to have. And that's also, I think, kind of rare for entrepreneurs to, I guess, be that insightful and not insightful, I guess that's probably not the right word, but to slow down long enough to find that talent. Usually just kind of we're spinning all around, and it's sort of like people kind of get caught up in the spinning around and all that. But for you to be really good and conscious about it, that's a really good and unique superpower.
Well, you know what it is I've scaled some businesses, and when you scale a business, you realize very quickly it ain't you. Like it ain't you. It's the team that you build around you. And I've actually had some really phenomenal team members early in my career where I was not good at. I was okay at enrolling, but I was horrible at keeping them enrolled. And I would lose them to other companies, or they'd go off and steal my people or steal my resources or my ideas and go do it on their own. And it was, they call it in business regrettable turnover. You get a couple like that where your business is on this rocket ship, and then all of a sudden you lose somebody very valuable and you start going the other direction and culture's breaking and you're stressing out and you're like, oh, I can never allow that to happen again. I really have to be good at this if I want to keep scaling.
Yep. Yeah.
What is it about the I'm Jared, by the way. What is it about is it for you, is it intuition? Is it a gut instinct on somebody, or are you able to identify, oh, this person is a worker, like they do it because they want to, like they need to personally check that box off?
You know, winners know what winners look and feel like. Like, I know your energy. You don't got to say much. You know, I'm gonna be able to tell in a very short amount of time whether or not you have the core ingredients to dominate.
Kobe used to say that. He used to
Who
say
did
that exact same thing. Like
winner?
he could tell winners. Like he could tell if you were if you could be on his team, and if he didn't feel it from you, like he didn't want you on his team.
Yeah, I don't care about your background, or I really don't care if you got a degree or not. Like, my interviews are real fast. Like, and I ask weird shit too. Like if I'm hiring for, let's say a position that I need somebody who's a little bit of a rule breaker, or like more willing to push the envelope in certain areas. One of the questions I ask in the interview is, you know, what kind of laptop are you using? And they're like, oh, I use a Mac. Okay, cool. So on your Mac, what web browsers do you predominantly use? And if they tell me, hey, I just use the one that comes on the Mac, it's like, I use Safari. And oh, you don't have any others download? No, I don't. Great. You're going in accounting. Because like you're going in, you're just going to follow the rules and do your damn job and not ask questions and like repeat the process. And if they're like, I got every web browser under the sun and I use this one for this reason and this one for this reason, I'm like, you're going over here and on the creative side or operations or somewhere that I need somebody that can figure things out and always ask themselves, like, why do we do it this way? Like, this isn't the best thing for me. I need something better. And
I love that you said that, because I've never heard anybody do that before. I have one, two. I don't want to count out. I think I have 15 different web browsers that I use
Of course you do.
specifically for projects that I work on, so that when I search projects, I don't get distracted by other projects, right? Because like whatever ads you get served are coming from what you search on the browser. So I use them to keep me in line, like so I'm not getting distracted. I've never heard anybody else do anything like use multiple web browsers.
yeah, very well.
That's awesome. That means there's other
Yeah,
people out there like me. I like
Yeah.
of course. Yeah.
it.
So, Cody, thank you for that. I really do want to get the second question answered, which is one that's really near and dear to my heart, because helping people create conscious wealth is very important to me. But I learned through this process that conscious wealth means something different to everybody. It's one of those God words. You define what God means to you, and that's something that's different for everyone. So if you could just tell me what conscious wealth means to you.
Yeah, it's just to make your money matter.
I like it. Short
I
and
mean,
sweet.
it's real simple. Like, it doesn't have to be a big definition. It's make your money matter. I build for-purpose businesses. I don't build a business just to make money. I build a business to solve problems while I'm making money. So, for instance, my development company is a company called Green Elephant Development. We built, I don't know, 27 or 28 spec houses last year. These are all $3 million houses in Scottsdale, Arizona. Beautiful homes for new money, new rich. And we mainly build in the 85018 zip code. And we're everywhere. We own, like, you know, 5, 6, 7 houses are going up on a 3-street radius area. So like you can see our houses everywhere. And we got a Green Elephant Development signs everywhere. And every house tells a story, and every house is paired with an elephant, because we're all about elephant conservation. So by the time we're done building the property and the new buyer takes ownership, they actually get a giant binder that shows the story of their house, the evolution from old house, tear down, dirt, new build, all the steps in between, and all the people that were involved in there and their warranty work and all that stuff. And then it also shows the elephant from the Sheldrick Trust or from the World Wildlife Fund, or whichever way we diverted the money. Part of our profits gets carved out on every property to go towards sponsoring an elephant. It could be an Asian elephant and an African elephant. But they see the elephant, they see the picture, they see the name of the elephant, the story, and you know what they do? They go, wow, I didn't even realize when I bought a house, there's a story behind my house. And then their friends come over and they go, check this out. Look at the story and look at the elephant. We gave $4,000 to this elephant and fed the elephant for a year. It's like, that's how we chose to go upstream and make our money matter. Elephant conservation. The other thing that we do with our money is I built, I don't know, maybe 60 or 70 schools in Guatemala out of trash. They're called bottle schools. And I've been doing that for, I don't know, 12, 13 years, building schools. And my friend Zach came to me one day and said, he used to work for me. And in my wholesaling business, Sell Quick for Cash, he used to work for me, and then he left and said, I want to go start a charity called Hug It Forward, and we're going to go build schools in third world countries. And I'm like, that's a dope idea. He goes, come with me. And I'm like, bro, I'm making $1 million a year wholesaling house. I'm not going to Guatemala with you. And he goes, come on, it'll be an adventure. Well, at the time I had just fallen in love. So I'm like, nah, I'm staying here. I'm making my money and I'm going to hang out with my girl. He went off, and for the last 15 years or 13 years, he's been building schools. And so I went to him and I said, listen, here's how I'll make my money matter with you. Every time I wholesale a house, you're going to get a piece of that wholesale transaction diverted over into a pot, and I'm going to fund your lifestyle. So that way, every dollar you raise can go 100% into your building of schools. I'll fund your car, your RV, because I bought him an RV one time so he can travel around the country and raise money. I pay for his house and all that stuff, his rent and his food. And now he can divert 100% of his money towards the actual charity. So even though I'm not directly going into building the schools, I fund the guy who builds all the schools.
Nice.
That's awesome.
That's awesome. Make your money matter. That's good.
For purpose, not for profit, not nonprofit. Right in the middle, for purpose.
Right. For purpose. I like it. And, it's a really good point, because I think a lot of times people think it does have to be one or the other, right? It's a nonprofit, but if you're a for-profit, then it's greedy, or it's not doing good things or whatever. And I love that there is an intersection.
I feel like I have a charity as well, and I feel like starting my charity was almost like the most selfish thing I felt like I ever did, because I feel like I just got so much out of it personally that it was like almost as if I was doing it for myself, although that wasn't like the purpose, of course. But it was just that was a really interesting experience.
What a great way to end your life, looking back and going, wow, I did that.
Yeah.
I served at that level. That's cool. My favorite friends are not the I right now in my phone, I have at least 5 billionaires, hundreds of millionaires, and probably, I don't know, 24 people that sold their businesses for 100 million or more. I'm really connected. Lots of them have private jets and big ranches and big real estate portfolios. My favorite friends are like my friend Cole Hatter, that didn't have a ton of money, but took every available dollar he had and went and bought an orphanage in Mexico and self-funded it for a decade and never told a single person until one day I go, what are you doing? Why do you keep going to Mexico all the time? And he goes, my orphanage. I'm like, what do you mean your orphanage? And he's like, yeah, I could drive down to my orphanage and I do this thing with the kids. I'm like, you selfish mofo. You never told me that I can help with an orphanage. Like, I want to feel good, like how you're feeling good. I want to be part of this. And finally, we convinced him after many years to create a real nonprofit. We piled money into the thing. We bought the land next door. We built a medical facility. We built more barracks, like a dorm room for more kids. And the whole thing blew up into this massive thing, all because he was selfishly keeping it to himself. Up until one day we said, that's the most selfish thing you can do to your friends. And but he's the one I brag about. I don't care about any of the other guys. I'm like, my boy owns an orphanage.
Right. That's a pretty good brag.
I love it.
That's an awesome brag. So, okay, I want to shift gears for a moment, because this is actually a really special, the first one of the year is always special. We did this last year. We're doing it again this year. Thank you. I want to know, for 2024, what is the word that you want to define your year? And then what's your theme song for the year?
Well, I'll tell you my word for last year first.
Okay.
My word for last year was turbulent.
Oh,
that was my word for last year, because I felt like I was in a freaking washing machine with interest rates and inflation and business going crazy. And unfortunately, right before last year, my mother passed away from cancer. So I was like rolling into the year in this really tough spot. And I was just going through a divorce, and all this crazy stuff was happening a year and a half ago. And so I rolled through all of last year just in this, like, who is Cody? How do we like move forward in the word for this year, because of all the personal development work and inner work I did over the last year, this work is intention. This year is intention. I'm very intentional with every relationship, every decision. Like this, the year of making some serious money, making some serious progress, really springboarding forward because I was able to put in the work, and I had last year to build that strong foundation. I can already feel when you're in alignment with your purpose, when you're in alignment with your words and your thoughts and your actions, and you don't have that heavy weight of being out of alignment, that's when you can be really intentional. And so I'm focused. My song is there's a rapper called Hit Boy.
Mhm.
There's a song called All Business. I'll play it for you.
I knew you'd have a song ready. I knew it.
Yeah.
Lacing up these size 10, stepping on you wise crack. Started with a small vision, not a screen on IMAX. Big dog vicious, God my witness. I ain't with the weird shit, so I keep it all business. HB paid the cost, I got the shit ringing off. See the smoke from the exhaust.
So it's just this vibe of like, no, we're focused this year. We're not playing
Right.
games this year. We're gonna lean in on these goals this year.
I love that.
I went through the seasons, you know, now we're on the other end of that. Now we're going. You know,
I
now
love
we're going. And so when I hear stuff like that, I'm like, that's the vibe I'm on. I'm very intentional with my health. I'm 45 years old and I'm ripped. Like can I cuss on here?
Sure. Fuck yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
I'm making sure. I want to be respectful for everybody. You know, I'm. My friend Wes Watson says, "Ripped, rich, and rare." Like that's where I'm like, I'm ripped for the first time in my life. I literally just posted like the before and afters on my social. Go look at it at official Cody Sperber. You will see me exactly 2 years ago at my worst. Mom's passing away, marriage is falling apart, health is out of control, totally out of alignment, eating like shit, smoking a little weed at night, you know, just off. Like I'm just hiding my pain and anything that will just calm me the fuck down. Now, 2 years later, just ripped because I'm intentional with my health and I eat right and I don't do dumb shit and I don't hide my pain and vices and I'm focused. Same with my spiritual game. And within 2 years, I'm nowhere near where I want to be, but I went from total atheist, fighting against it all, not wanting any relationship with anything. I used to think like, you're all in a cult, you're all crazy, you know, I don't need to play make-believe in order to feel like my future has hope. 2, really stepping back, getting grounded, saying how crazy it is for me to think that I'm at the top of the food chain, to starting to pray, starting to go to church, starting to build my relationship my way with my creator and making my relationship with my creator at the center of my bullseye in my life and not neglecting that relationship. Doing that with my significant other. So, you know, I went through this divorce. I'm like, God, I fucked that relationship up so bad. How did I get here? And anybody who's lost somebody they love or failed in a relationship or been cheated on or cheated on the other person or went through a divorce like that, you know, you look back and you're like, God, so many moments, so many warning signals, so many times I could have fixed things that I just never did. How am I going to learn and grow from this? And I made a decision that every single day with my girl, I'm playing the Super Bowl. I'm intentional. And I'm like, you know what? What if at the end of every single day, she can watch a movie and that movie showed all of my private thoughts, every private search on Google, every DM I send to any person, any conversation I have with my boys, my best friends, behind her back, with her next to me, just all the hidden shit in our lives. And she could watch this movie. And at the end of the day, if she watched this movie, would she be more in love with me? Would she want to rip my clothes off with her teeth more? Would she be more proud of me? Or would I push her away? And if every day she watches that movie, she's more in love with me, then I won that day. And that's how I approach the relationship. Guess what? My relationship, yeah, it's got fucking issues like every relationship. Like we fight, like we're not perfect, but the makeup sex is phenomenal. We're always back on track. Like we're not there. There's no hidden anything. There's no secrets. There's total alignment between the two of us. And that's how we're going to win the long game in this relationship.
Yeah.
I have zero desire for another woman for the rest of my life. Like I've never felt that way. And I was married for 18 years and I was questioning it. And now I'm fully focused and totally in. When you're totally in, you're not out.
Right.
Like I'm in, like all the way in. And we're not married yet. We've only been dating for a little over a year, but I'm all the way in. And that's because I'm intentional. And I'm doing that with my businesses too. Guess what happens when an entrepreneur wants to unlock the next level? And they can't figure out why. Why is the next level not unfolding in front of me? Why am I not making more money this year than last year? Why am I struggling a little bit more? Why do those people not invite me to speak on their stage or give me the opportunity? It's because you're out of alignment, motherfucker, and everybody can see it. They're looking at you and they're going, you know, this is an exaggeration, but like you're out of shape. You got floppy titties. You're all over the fucking place. I'm not going to bet on you. You don't even believe in yourself. Why am I going to bet on you? It's an exaggeration, but that's how people judge everybody. They're always looking and they're watching and they're going, how does this person move? How do they post on social? How are they treating their body? How do they talk to their significant other when they're not around? And they're watching and they're like, there's something holding me back from wanting to give this person the opportunity. That's why you're not going to the next level. The second I got in an alignment and I became intentional with my money game, guess what happened? Everybody started opening back up. The world got blue, the sky got blue and sunny, and people started calling me again, going, "Hey, Sperber, you want to get involved? You want to start a business with us? You want to come speak on this stage?" And I'm like, "Damn, everything's just gunning for me right now."
Yep.
And it's a great feeling. Tension.
Yep. Intention. I love it. And I love something you said before, because one of my favorite sayings, if it's not a fuck yes, then it's a fuck no.
I love that. Yeah.
So my mindset coach and I, we came up with, you know how Cody Sanchez, she has a deal analyzer that she gives out to people, and it's what she uses to decide if she's going to buy a business or if she's not going to buy a business. And it takes the emotion out of it. Like it either hits this metric or it doesn't. And so we came up with mine, and I call it my Apta-fucking-lutely analyzer.
I love that.
If it's not going to get me closer to my goals exponentially, then I'm not fucking doing it.
Man, that's a great word.
Abso-fucking-lutely.
Well, that's a great word too, but no, exponential.
Exponential.
Those are the results I'm looking for. I don't want this incremental bullshit.
That's right.
I'm past that. I want exponential growth.
Well, it's funny you say that, because my word for 2024, that's one of the 4. Remember I told you at the beginning, I was like,
Yeah.
shit, that's a con audible. I'm going to my word for last year, I'll tell you, was fun. And the reason it was fun was because I was working myself to death. And I have a teenage daughter, and I was like, this is not what I want to teach her life is like, right? Like that's all I did was work. And I was seeing results. I was making money. It was fine. But you know what happens when you work too much and there's no balance, you're not healthy. I was probably not all that pleasant to be around, honestly. And so my word for last year was fun. And so this year I came up with 4 more. Now I too have done a lot of work over the past year with my mindset strategist, and the mastermind that I'm in is called Ascension Wealth Consciousness. And so I was thinking about transformative being the word, because that work is so transformative, but that's really last year. I kind of did some transformative work last year, so that wasn't it this year. Limitless is one of my favorite words of all time. So I was like, oh, limitless. I like that. And then I had the other 2. Sovereign was one. And that is really meaning like full power and sovereignty over my life, my decisions, my businesses, all of those things. And then at the top was exponential. Exponential, I think, is my word, because I don't know if you've seen anything that I've done, but B to the power of E. It's all about exponential growth in every possible way. So I think you just helped me choose my word. Thank you.
That's great. That's a
Mhm.
great word. It's a wonderful
Exponential.
word. Yeah.
I like that
exponential.
got developed on the spot too.
It did. I have them. They're right in front of me, and I was like saying them out loud before. I was like, all right, these usually just kind of fall at me, like, and it just sort of, my head goes, it's this one. Okay, but we need to. Oh, you did hear your song, so now you get to hear mine. We did hear your song.
Is it who's got the keys to the Jeep?
Dude, it should be.
I don't know why it's not.
Little Missy Elliott. I think Pace would fall out of his chair if I chose that as my song.
100% he would.
So Cody, Pace and I did an event together last year with AJ Osborne, and he was interviewing everybody. You know how Pace does. He has I think he learned it by watching you, right? He has a crew with him everywhere. So he's in there and everybody's coming through and doing this content. And he's got these really young kids on his team. and he had these kids, and the kid had a Jeep shirt on. And so Pace kept making the joke, who's got the keys to the Jeep? And the kid
He
had
never
no
got it.
idea who Missy Elliott was at
That's
all.
pretty funny.
And so he just kept doing it until somebody would finally beep back at him.
So every now and again, Braden, because I told Braden, I started messing around with him with that because like I historically have Jeeps, and he walks around all the time asking who's got keys to the Jeep. It's hilarious.
That's
Braden's my son. He's my 5-year-old boy.
That's awesome.
all
Yeah,
right.
it's
So
funny.
my song it's a little cheesy, and I don't care because I love it. Hold on. Can you hear it?
Nope.
Mm. If you're playing it on your you're playing on your phone.
Got it off?
Uh,
All right. That's a big fail. It's right in the microphone. Can you all hear me?
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Okay.
I
that
don't know
was
why
good.
that wouldn't come through.
All right. Well, it's Best Day of My Life by the American Authors. Every single day, best day of my life. And it's got to intentionally be the best day of my life. And I decided every single morning when I wake up that today's the best day of my life. So that's my song of the year.
What a great way to live.